Lots of energy in this church this morning with a packed house, right? Everyone's feeling warm and chipper. So as priests, one of the things that we are often asked to do is to give house blessings. You go to people's houses, doesn't mean that their house is haunted. Could be, but more often than not is to ask for God's blessings to remain on that house for a while. A part of the ritual is that you go room to room and bless each room individually with a certain prayer. So as I'm leading the way, someone carries a bowl of holy water behind me, and the rest of the family follows so I can sprinkle it everywhere and offer a different prayer to bless each room. Now, as you can imagine, if a priest is coming to visit your house, what will you do beforehand? Clean it. You'll do it the best you can to make the house look spotless. Sometimes, though, when I'm blessing a house is pretty clean, but as I'm walking around and about to open a door, which is not visible to the rest of the house and I previously have not gone into, as I'm reaching for the door, sometimes the owner will say, "Oh no, Father, don't go in there." Looks like we've stumbled upon the junk room. Now, even though I am visiting the house and spending a little bit of time, I'm not there for a long period of time. I may have a conversation with you, but I won't get to know you very well from just visiting for a blessing. I won't know what you do in your leisure time. I won't know how you relax, how you pray, how you clean, or how you cook. And I will never see the junk room. But have you ever had the experience of spending an extended period of time at a family member or friend's house? In a short period of time, you start to see how they act in private rather than just in public. Now they can't hide things as easily. You're able to see that junk room, both literally and figuratively. And now you get to know them intimately as they really are. So that person is no longer far removed from you that you can kind of keep at an arm's distance. But now you're challenged to a relationship. Friends, today in the gospel, Jesus is offering that close-up intimacy to these disciples who are coming to him and following him at the beginning of his public ministry. He offers this invitation, "Come and you will see." What's Jesus responding to? Well, he's responding to a question. The question is, "Rabbi, where are you staying?" Which is more than just, "Where do you live?" It means, show us where you are at home. Show us your true self. Let us follow you so we know who you truly are. Because only the one who accompanies Jesus is able to see. Truth is, Jesus was the most authentic person who ever lived. What you saw was what you got, and then some. Jesus didn't live privately different than he lived publicly. There was no junk room with Jesus. He had nothing he needed to hide. And when he invited his disciples to come and see, he was inviting them to a special type of intimacy, and was one that would change their hearts forever. Because whenever you ask a question of Jesus, get ready for a challenge in return. There's a story from the very early days of Christianity when the Christians of Rome are undergoing a fierce persecution at the hands of the Emperor Nero. Peter, who is of course in Rome, wants to flee the city and get out. So as he's walking out into the country, he passes by Jesus, who is walking the other way into Rome. And as he's walking by, he says in Latin to Jesus, "Quo vadis? Lord, where are you going?" And Jesus answers Peter, "I'm going to Rome to be crucified." And then Jesus disappears. And then that's when the moment where Peter turns around and goes right back into the city, where he eventually will suffer that same fate and give his life for the gospel. So just as the disciples of Jesus asked the question, "Where are you staying, Rabbi?" Peter also asks the question, "Where are you going?" To which he was confronted with a life-changing, monumental decision that he had to make. A couple of weeks ago, we had a retreat for young men who were thinking about the priesthood. A dozen of them were part of this group, and they spent a few days with our seminarians. getting to know them, playing games with them, praying with them, and diving deep into their hearts to discern where God is guiding them in their life. And the name of this retreat was Quo Vadis, the same words that Peter spoke to Jesus outside of Rome. And like Peter, it wasn't so much Jesus asking them, "Where are you going?" but it was them asking Jesus, "Where are you going, Lord?" Because I want to follow you, to get to know you, and to be with you wherever you are. Lots of us are coming here into this church with questions on our hearts for the Lord. What is it that you want to ask the Lord? What are those deepest longings that only God can satisfy? Is Jesus at a comfortable distance from you and me, way out there, that we act cordial with, but who never gets into our heart to know who we really are? Or do you sincerely desire to follow closely behind him? After asking those questions, what do you hear him saying to you in return? Perhaps he's giving you the same invitation to you and me that he made to those first followers of his, which is, come and you will see.